Next up is Dragon Blitz with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, all bosses.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for the introduction. Yeah, this is going to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night, all bosses. I'm super excited to share this with you guys today. I'm pretty much ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. So at the very beginning of the run, we're going to be playing as Richter here in the prologue sequence. Everything I'm doing here is important to set up my items and stats when I start playing as Alucard after the sequence is over. One of the ways that we're going to get through the sequence very quickly is a glitch known as damage stacking. So if I'm able to do the Hydrostorm item crash and then throw a Holy Water on the ground right afterwards, there's a random chance that I do additional damage. Let's see if we get it here. Didn't really get one there. You would notice Dracula's health bar on the right-hand side start to just melt. So it's pretty much random whether you get them or not. Didn't seem to be getting any here at all. It's fine. We can just kill in the old-fashioned way using our sub-weapons and attacks. Pretty bad RNG, but it doesn't really matter at the beginning of the run. But yeah, moving onward, we're going to start playing as Alucard. And when we begin our run as Alucard, we will gain access to our starting gear. Our starting gear is very powerful in this game. It is some of the best gear in the game. The game tries to take the gear away from you in a cutscene with death. So we are going to try and keep our gear using a glitch known as Death Skip. Specifically, we're going to attempt to do a reverse shift line. The way reverse shift lines work is they are a glitch where you can manipulate where you get sent after a screen transition by pausing the screen in a specific spot or freezing the screen specifically. The way we're going to freeze the screen is by getting a level up in the exact pixel perfect positioning. And I'm going to use the map to help me guide that positioning. And we should be getting the level up after this last guy. I just have to set up the Warwick's positioning, set up my positioning, and then go for the trick. That should work. There we go. And that reverse shift line passes us through the room where normally death takes away our gear, and we get to keep all of the powerful starting gear. Some of you guys might be familiar with a different version of Death Skip that requires that we do a damage boost past that room. That's like an older version of Death Skip that doesn't turn out to be faster for this run specifically, but I figured I'd mention it since it's a very popular, well-known version. One thing that's important to note, the main movement option that you guys are going to be seeing me do throughout the beginning of this run is called shield dashing. Specifically, I'm canceling my backdash by pulling out the shield, and I do that over and over and over again. So shield into backdash, over and over and over again. So it allows me to keep the high base speed of the initial part of the backdash without going through the slow end lag at the end of the backdash. And it turns out to be a little over twice as fast as your normal walking speed. So we're going to be trying to shield dash as much as possible throughout the beginning part of the run before we unlock some of the more speedy movement options. Another thing that is really nice about this run, because we did the Death Skip earlier, we get to keep all of our very powerful gear. This means that the boss fights in this all bosses run are going to be a lot easier than they would be otherwise. They're still pretty easy without this gear, but this gear makes them a lot faster, very easy. And this is our very first boss fight of the run, Slogger and Gaibon. And just like that, it's over. So the benefits of having the additional gear at the start speed up every single boss fight, and it turns this speedrun into a showcase of movement between the bosses, and it's less so about strategizing how to actually beat the bosses themselves, which is really, really nice because the movement in this game is one of the reasons I personally fell in love with speedrunning it. It's my favorite video game of all time because of its movement. And yeah, our goal for this beginning part of the run, we call it in the community the clock rush. So the very first 8 minutes of the game, there is a few things that we need to grab kind of to set up for the rest of the run. And we're on a global cycle that is dictated by the clock room in the central part of the game that we're about to pass in just a second here. So this room coming up right here, if you look in the top left-hand corner, there's a statue that moves there. That's kind of the game hinting that like, hey, this room is important. This statue moves. You might want to check this out later. That statue moves in and out of position every other minute. So on even minutes, it'll be out of the way and we'll be able to pass through that section up there. But on odd minutes, it's in our way and we can't actually progress. So the fastest possible cycle we'll be able to get to when we get back there is an even minute, specifically 8 minutes. This is the 8-minute clock rush. And as of right now, no human has been able to get a time faster than that. So because of that, we essentially don't have to worry too much about our time because we are on that global cycle. Right now, since we're moving along to the outer wall, where the outer wall we're going to find the first transformation relic. This is the Soul of Wolf. This is going to let us transform into the wolf, which will give us extra movement options. Specifically, it's going to give us access to a dive kick. The developers gave you the ability to dive kick out of transformations, but they never intended you to use that dive kick to gain extra height. So we're gonna do exactly that by dive kicking off of a candle to gain access to that area that's behind the statue over there. Right here is yet another boss fight with the Doppelganger. I'm going to be taking advantage of the fact that the Doppelganger is susceptible to the stopwatch sub-weapon. This completely freezes him and allows us to fight him without him fighting back, making this somewhat annoying boss fight completely trivial. And there he is, 3 slashes and he's done. So from here, we're just going to be grabbing that Soul of Wolf. If you got donations, and that would be a great time for him.
I've got some for you. $50 from Sestrin. Good luck on the SotN All Bosses run, Dragon Blitz. Can't wait to see all the bosses for about 1 second of screen time each. Which you've just seen. $25 from Kona Recon. Here's some money to get Dracula some new wine glasses. I hope he buys in bulk. And $50 from Jet Fuel Ghost. Consider this a $1 donation and 49 other $1 donations for watchers who aren't able to donate. Thank you so much, Jet Fuel Ghost. I appreciate that. Time for one more?
Yeah, one more sounds good.
Sure. $50 from Satoryu. Sup, GDQ? I'm totally ready for another week of speedrunning goodness, and I'm especially ready for Dragon Blitz to shield dash and infinite wing smash through SotN. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you, Satori. Real quick, now that we have the Soul of Wolf, we're going to transform and do a slope jump here to grab this item. The slope jump works that if you're running against the slope and jump in the wolf transformation, you get a little extra height. We did that to grab the Garnet item, which is going to be used in a glitch later on. We're essentially going to sell it for virtually infinite money, as much money as we would need for the rest of this run a little bit later in the library. Another thing that's important to note, I talked about the ability to dive kick with the wolf, but also the wolf has a decent dash speed. It's a little bit slower than shield dashing, but it allows you to keep that high base speed in the air, which is something you can't do with shield dashing. You have to be on the ground to shield dash. So in sections where you need to jump a lot, it can be faster to transform into the wolf and use wolf movement instead. This is one of the few places where we're going to be doing that. And there are some tricky jumps and like attack timings you have to get down to make sure you can transform and stay in wolf transformation the entire time. Because if you take any damage, it forcibly removes you from the transformation. You go back into Alucard form. But we made it through just fine. And here is the clock rush in action. There's not much for us to do here. We made it here in under 8 minutes, which is the fastest possible cycle for us. I did make an entire like 25-minute long video essay explaining this clock room and how all the intricacies keep us from saving more time as speedrunners. There are a few like theoretical ways to pass the 8-minute barrier, but as of right now, no human has been able to do it. You either need to get insanely lucky with like a 1 in 4,000 chance drop, or you have to play at task level for like 7 minutes straight. So as of right now, no one's been able to do that. But we're moving on. Here we're going to the Alrox's quarters, which will lead us to the Colosseum. The Colosseum has 3 important items for us. It has the Form of Mist, our next transformation. It also has a library card that will allow us to transport directly to the library, which has more good stuff for us. And it also has the Shield Rod. The Shield Rod is a very powerful weapon in this game. It allows us to do spells based off of what shield we have equipped. And since we started with the best shield in the game, we're going to use the Shield Rod in conjunction with the Alucard shield to do a spell that just completely obliterates every enemy in a matter of just a few like frames even. There is also a boss fight for us. This boss fight is a little bit interesting. It is the Minotaur and Werewolf boss fight. There's a cutscene that is associated with the boss, and for some reason, if you skip the cutscene, it causes the enemy AI to just not load in right away, so they just stand still for a little while, giving us a chance to sit here and wail on them, and they never get a chance to fight. Past this boss arena is going to be the Form of Mist. This form of mist is required to allow us to get the Soul of Bat, which is the most important transformation. It's what we're going to be using as our main form of movement as soon as we get it. It also allows us to transform into other transformations a little bit faster and reset our momentum. So the mist does have utility outside of just unlocking one extra transformation. This is where the shield rod is. It's protected by a bunch of enemies. We're going to damage boost into this area, use our library card to warp out of here, and we're going to be setting up for our next glitch right away. We're going to be setting up for that shop glitch that I was referring to earlier. But first, we need to grab a specific relic, the fairy relic, by doing another slope jump, as well as dive kicking off of this book here. Got to hope for a good pattern. Okay, we almost didn't make that. The book RNG can be quite brutal sometimes, and the hitboxes just won't allow you to get up there. We got pretty lucky there. But yeah, the fairy relic spawns in a fairy familiar. And when you spawn her in, she has a bit of dialogue. That dialogue can interrupt other cutscenes' dialogue. And by doing so, it allows us to access menus we're not supposed to be able to while talking to the shopkeeper. Let's get that set up right here.
Your work.
Very good. So now I'm going to be able to equip that garnet that I got earlier. As I sell it, this underflows the garnet from 0 to 255. And now we can sell as many as we need to get all the overpowered gear that we need. We're going to be buying a mana prism and a duplicator specifically.
Thank you.
I'm interested.
Those two items are very, very important for the run. I'll explain those in a second. We're also going to be activating the shield rod spell now. This gives us the ability to do damage with our shield as long as we interact or touch an enemy with the shield. So the duplicator allows us to refill our magic all the way to full. The mana prism allows us to refill our magic all the way to full, and the duplicator gives us infinite usage of the mana prisms. So the mana prisms also give us additional iframes as soon as we use them, so we can be invincible for about a second. And I'm going to go for a damage boost right here. Didn't get the best possible damage boost, but it was pretty good. The best damage boost like launches you across the room a little bit easier. But that was another section where wolf movement is a little bit faster. And we get to see the shield spell in action. The boss is defeated before I could even say it. And we're setting up for yet another glitch. This is going to allow us to leave the library a lot faster than normal. This is the wolf floor clip. Nice, I even got the little visual glitch here. Call that Badu card. This is a essentially triple frame perfect floor clip. And I'm going to use the map to help me buffer it. So let's see if we can get it. Nope. One frame off there. Let's try one more time. Oh my goodness. I keep getting the wrong frame on that last one. There we go. Yeah, like I said, it's essentially triple frame perfect. The map does help us confirm which frame we get, but in order to map buffer, you do have to actually press the inputs in real time. There's no additional leniency. It's mainly just for confirmation. But yeah, now that we have the bat transformation, we're going to be using this as our main form of movement. You're going to notice that I'm flying around in the bat with the little trails falling behind me. That's a spell called wing smashing. So every time I wing smash, it's actually a pretty technical input. I have to hold the jump button, do a 3/4 circle motion on the control stick, and then release the jump button. And I have to do that every 63 frames, or else I get booted out of the transformation and the wing smash will expire. So in sections like this, I'm essentially doing that input once every second to keep myself in an infinite wing smash chain. Every single time I do the input, however, it does take a little bit of magic. It takes 8 MP. So I have to be able to refill my MP as soon as I untransform, so that way I can do more wing smashes. And we get to combine all of that movement in this section right here, which is probably like the most precise wing smash section in the game. Let's see if I can get it. No. You have full control of your height while you're in a wing smash. So you have to be able to do the input and then afterwards correct your height as well. And that's where the major skill expression of this game is being able to do the wing smash inputs, but also control your height and timing with them as you're doing them. Coming up here, we're grabbing another relic. This allows us to double jump. This is the leap stone. It also gives us access to a dive kick. And the dive kick itself has a high base vertical speed. And we can take advantage of that high base vertical speed and maintain that momentum during the bat transformation. It's called a dive bat. It's what I'm using to get through these rooms quickly. You could also do it to move during the transformation animation, so that way you're like gaining speed and momentum going into your wing smashes. Coming up, we have yet another glitch. This first castle section is full of like just movement tech and glitches. It's one of the reasons why this is my favorite category. Right after this boss fight, we're going to set up for a chapel-specific out of bounds that is frame perfect. I don't know exactly why it works. I just know that it works. And it's very convenient because that out of bounds will get us into an area that we need to get to much faster than going the other way around. Possible flashing screen warning now, just as a heads up. All right, we're good. Yeah, this pushes us out of bounds into this void area, which gives us access to the Aurochs' quarters from the other side. Normally, there's a statue blocking our way, but this gets us past that statue, and we can get to the Aurochs boss fight much quicker than intended. And from here, there's not too much to talk about. It's more movement and boss fights, so now would be another great time for donations.
Can do that for you. We have $100 from Purple Fox. Hey, DB, so cool to watch you run at GDQ. Good luck and have fun and smash those wings.
Hi, Purple Fox. Hope you're doing well.
We have $25 from Issa. SotN is one of the most satisfying speedruns to see done this skillfully. Mesmerizing. $25 from Vicarious Vice. If Dracula did some soul searching, maybe he wouldn't be so evil. But then again, he never self-reflects. Thank you, Vicarious Vice. $20 from Sushi Elemental. Dr. Acula to the boss room. Calling Dr. Acula, please come to the boss room. Thank you. Thank you, Sushi Elemental, for your $20 donation. Time for some more?
I just got a frame perfect floor clip that I was not expecting to get.
Whoa, that's awesome.
I wasn't going to mention it on commentary because it's like, there's no way I'll get that in the run. But no, I did get it. That saves like 6 seconds. It's not the biggest deal if you end up getting it. It's one of those things you go for and you hope to save the time, but if you don't get it, there's no reason to try again. From here, that floor clip saved us enough time where we're moving on to our next movement option, the gravity boots. This is a relic that costs 5 MP to activate, and it gives us a large vertical jump. We can control that jump in a few different ways. But we're also going to be setting up for another floor clip similar to what we did in the library. This one is just as precise. It's about triple frame perfect, so it does have a lengthier setup, though, so it's a little more punishing if you miss it. There we go. Not too bad. So clipping into the stairs here allows us to access the load zone for the underground caverns from out of bounds. Funny enough, if this was the PlayStation version, this would end up corrupting all of the graphics on the screen. It would look really funny. But on the 360 version, that ends up not happening. But yeah, that skips a large like detour that takes like about 40 seconds to open up the underground caverns and press a switch and all of that. But we need to get here because there's more bosses for us now. And we now have access to essentially our main movement kit that we're going to use for the rest of the run. We have our double jump, we have our high jump, we have our bat transformation, our wing smashes. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this game is how you're able to chain all of the movement options together. And this is like the first room that we get to like showcase all of the movement options being utilized. So satisfying to be able to combine the momentum from the gravity jumps into your transformations, into your wing smashes. Right here is probably the most notorious like flashing screen warning that we're going to have for the run. This is a glitch that allows us to skip out of this boss room quickly, but it causes the screen to flash a few times. So just as a heads up for the next like 20 seconds. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to kill the boss while it's still off screen here and deload the door to escape. Oh, I didn't actually get the... Wow, that's the first time I have missed that in a very long time. It's fine. Flashing screen warning over. All it would have let us do is to leave the room and not have to backtrack and wait for the death animation. It saves like 10 seconds. But yeah, moving along here, we have another long wing smash chain. This really gets to show off like how you need to control your height for these wing smash chains, as well as control the timing of them. Because if you touch the ceiling or the floor here, you'll end up zipping either into a wall, bonking, and then forcing you to untransform, or it'll zip you into the water. Want to make sure to not destroy that Donkey Kong skeleton here. Funny enough, we just recently found a glitch that is PlayStation exclusive. Or it's technically not a glitch. It's a developer debug code that was left in the final version of the game, where if you just plug a controller into player 2 and press the triangle button, the bridge explodes on its own. But we have to do it the old-fashioned way here on the Xbox version, using the Donkey Kong skeleton to throw its barrel. But yeah, we have yet another boss here, and we're going to be coming up on my favorite glitch in the entire run. It's so silly. If performed perfectly, it saves a little under a full second. But I absolutely adore it. It's another out of bounds similar to what we did with the caverns, but instead we're going to be damage boosting using a toadstool and touching the load zone right from out of bounds right there. We could have just went one room over and entered the area like normal, but no, we have to do it that way because it's much funnier. And it technically saves a little bit of time, so it is optimal. Yeah, we're coming up on the final boss of the first castle here in just a few moments. This run really does fly by as soon as you get started. We gain access to so much of the castle as soon as we gain the ability to fly. And with various glitches and other movement options, we're basically able to skip around and go wherever we want. We're going to use a library card to leave this part of the castle quickly. And we need to move on to the second castle now, the inverted castle. And how we're going to do that is we're actually going to skip the encounter with Richter, where you need to save him to unlock the second castle, doing a glitch known as Richter skip. There are many different ways to skip Richter in this game. The way we're going to do it is by using a precise wolf jump on a slope, which will allow us to get past the game's check to see if you are wearing the holy glasses and if you have saved Richter or not. The default state for that room is that Richter has already been saved, and it allows us to just skip past the cutscene and go straight into the second castle. It's a pretty precise trick. It's very inconsistent. I'm hoping to see us get it within a few tries here. But yeah, skipping the holy glasses section saves like 5 minutes of backtracking in this run, so going to be setting that up right here. Yeah, I didn't get it. I'll try the backup. It's a little slower, but a little bit more consistent. There it is. Nice. And we're going to skip right past Richter. I have to be careful for when I skip the cutscene there, because if I skip the cutscene at the wrong timing, you can actually end up soft locking. So very happy that didn't happen. That's like the only worrisome part of the run, where something might go absolutely wrong and the run is ruined. But from here, it's smooth sailing. We have our movement options that we need. We have our shield rod spell, and it's going to be just us moving around the castle, killing a lot of bosses. Now is a great time for some donations.
Yeah, I'm sitting here stunned by this run, as is chat, as is everyone donating. We've got $50 from the Gecko. This SotN run is jaw-dropping, amazing stuff by Dragon Blitz. I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you, the Gecko. $50 from Draco. I'm a big fan of Castlevania, and I love to see games played fast. I'm loving the SotN speedrun so far. I think we all are. $100 from Brando. First time catching a GDQ event live, had to donate during one of my favorite games of all time, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and my favorite runner, Dragon Blitz. Good luck with the run, DB, and thanks to all the GDQ community for all the hard work and donations.
Yeah, thanks.
We've got $33.33 from Chilihead, who goes, "What is a cup? A miserable little pile of secrets. Anyway, I need this Cuphead run and those dad jokes." Chilihead, we are right now just a little over $3,000 away from unlocking Cuphead as a bonus game coming up right after Borderlands. So $3,000 chat. There's 90,000 people watching SotN right now. If y'all just donate, we can unlock Cuphead together. I know we can do it. Time for some more donations?
Yeah, keep going.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I got them. $250 from Jammin' Out. Hey, AGDQ. Been watching this wonderful event for over 8 years now, and it's always an amazing time. Can't wait to see more of my favorite games get completely destroyed. Good luck to the runners. Thank you, Jamming Out. $200 from Come Here and Get Some, and they just say, gotta go fast. I think we're succeeding. Thanks, Come Here and Get Some. $50 from Morgul Blades. This is an event that I look forward to every year. Love the community, cause, and everyone volunteering their time to make this possible. Big shout out to my daughter Shiloh, who's tuning in with me this year to cheer on the amazing runners. Hype! Thank you, Morgul Blades. That's cute.
Yeah, coming up here is probably the #1 reason we grab the gravity boots. This section of vertical climbing is, I want to say, like 40 seconds slower without the gravity jump here. So we are able to chain these jumps together to climb this really long area to get to our next boss, which is Doppelganger again. Again, we're going to use the stopwatch to freeze him in place. We use the Mana Prism to set up our iframes, so that way he doesn't hit us before we can hit him. Here's another section where you have to be careful with your height. Like I said earlier, there's a mechanic in this game called terrain boosting. You could take advantage of it in a few ways, but in like tight hallways like this, you want to be careful to not touch the ceiling while you're wing smashing, because when you wing smash against the ceiling or any slope, the wing smash wants to follow the angle of that slope. And by doing so, a lot of the time it ends up zipping you into walls or into areas that you don't want to be. So again, it just comes down to a lot of control of the inputs of these wing smashes. Coming up here is also another like vertical section. This is one of my favorite movement sections in the game. When performed cleanly, it looks so nice. I'm gonna try my best to show that off. Yeah, right there. That entire section is so awkward to maneuver through if you're just playing the game casually. You're pretty much just in the bat transformation, flying straight up, hoping to not get hit. But being able to show off what like high level movement in this game looks like is always a pleasure. And that is one of the most shocking, outstanding areas where it's very clear that there's additional movement used to help get through those areas. All right, we're about halfway done here with the second castle, coming up on the hardest boss in the game. And by hardest, I mean he has the most health points. He has 12,000 health points. And we just want to stand around his head because we do a little bit more damage. But yeah, considering most bosses die in a matter of frames, the fact that he lasts a few seconds just goes to show how much health this guy really has. But yeah, more donations if you got them.
A lot of them, $50 from Eric and Rachel W. This is our last GDQ before we welcome our baby into this world. Had to get a donation in before sharing SGDQ with our future 1-month-old. Thanks for the hundreds of hours of entertainment, and we can't wait to share future events with our little bean. Aw, congrats, Eric and Rachel. $25 from Mooney. Always a great time when I catch one of these. Great work to all the runners, great work for the work you all do for charities, and great content to watch. Now let's get that cup of fun unlocked, shall we? Checking in one more time on the Cuphead incentive. We've moved the needle a little bit, but we've still got a little bit to go. Just around $2,500 away-ish to get Cuphead unlocked. Chat, I know you can do it. I'm counting on you. I believe in you. Get those donations in towards Cuphead. $50 anonymous donation. Thank you everyone at PCF and GDQ for everything that you do. Thank you so much. $50 from Fetch. One of the 2 weeks out of the year that I look forward to the most. Good luck to all the runners, and thanks to all the staff and communities that make this happen. Thank you, Fetch.
I do want to take some time to shout out the SotN community as well. Like I said in the interview, if it wasn't for the kind people at the SotN community over the years, I wouldn't be here today. So if anything you're seeing here looks interesting and you want to learn this game, it's one of the most inviting and welcoming communities of speedrunning that I've ever seen. So definitely go to the speedrun.com/SotN and you can find a link to the Discord, our long library Discord there. I also am always happy to help new people trying to get into the game. So yeah, I'm just excited that we've had a lot of progress over the years, a lot of new discoveries, new speedrun tech. We've had a lot of people join the community because of our randomizer as well. The Symphony of the Night randomizer we've had tournaments for and races all the time in the Discord. So just huge shout out to everybody that loves this game and keeps playing it to this day. This guy takes forever, so more donations.
Absolutely. $50 from Feywild. My first GDQ and donation since starting my new job. Every year, our cups overflow with amazing runs, but let's fill this cup head incentive a little more for good measure. Thanks for the awesome runs and the excellent event every year. Thank you, Feywild. We're getting there towards unlocking Cuphead. Just around a little over $2,000 now. Chat, you can do it. We got $25 from Mystic Theurge. Mystic Theurge here. I'm a follower of Dragon Blitz, and it is great to see him at AGDQ. Good luck.
Thank you.
$50 from Hill House. Yet another cancer survivor here to provide some firsthand proof that early detection saves lives. Shout out to anyone fighting right now and to the Prevent Cancer Foundation for saving lives. Thank you, Hill House.
Yeah, we're coming up on our last little bit of the run here. It goes by so fast. That was our second to last boss fight before the final boss encounter. We're coming up on our final boss fight. And yeah, it's, like I said before, this is my favorite category for a lot of different reasons. But just the ability to move in this game is something that has kept me hooked for almost 10 years, speedrunning wise. We're just still discovering like new small optimizations all the time. We're discovering big game warping optimizations like the bridge break tech and stuff like that. So I'm just so happy to be here, so happy to be running this for you guys. And there was the final boss before our next glitch. This is a glitch that we're going to use to get into the final section of the game. Normally there's in the inverted clock room, that big clock room that I was talking about in the first castle. In the second castle, that hides the final boss encounters. And normally you need to collect these 5 relics, these 5 pieces of Vlad. We're going to be doing that relic skip. Specifically, we're going to do a reverse shift line, similar to what we did to keep our items at the start of the run. But instead, this is going to push us into the ceiling. This is another section with a potential flashing screen warning for those that are sensitive. I'll let you know when it's all clear. But yeah, pushes us into the ceiling. We're going to fly through the ceiling for a little while. It's going to push us to the other side, past the barrier where normally we would need the relics. And it skips a very long clock opening animation. And we are good on flashing screen for the rest of the run here. And we have 2 boss fights, and then the run is done. Again, thank you guys so much for allowing me to show this off, showing you guys the speedrun of my favorite game and my favorite category. And the final 2 bosses, they go by quick, so I'll let you know when we're ready on time. But yeah, again, if any of this interests you, don't be shy. Join the Discord for SotN Speedrunning, the Long Library Discord, and I would love to get at least one new person running this game because of this run today. And time is coming up in just a few seconds here. And time. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys again. And yeah, that was a pretty clean run overall. I mean, we lost some time to the very technical tricks, but that is how this category can be sometimes.
The final time of 32:40.
Not bad at all. For a marathon run, doing marathon safety strats, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, thanks again. This was an absolute blast. So happy to be here. And I hope you guys enjoyed the run.